So the real boss is that mayor from before, and his real name is Evice. And going into this battle, I was terrified. I had so much trouble with his apparently underling Nascor that I couldn't even imagine what this guy could do. He starts with a Slow King and a Slay King. All right, let's see how this progresses. That's about what I expect. Why does every Pokemon in this game have Earthquake? Also, I kind of like how Slaking does a stretch and a yawn animation and just obliterates all the Pokemon in the field. Okay, what else is next? Oh! You see, the reason this is awful is because Slaking, while incredibly powerful and tanky, that it's actually stronger than most legendary Pokemon, it has the ability Truant, where it's so darn lazy that it can only attack every other turn. So Skill Swap removes that limitation and Slaking unlocks its full potential and goes further beyond. So, in other words, you're gonna get smacked like I did. I had Suicune tank the hits while Slaking just nuked the field, knocking out both my Pokemon and his own. He even has a Salamence. Like, are you serious right now? Suicune and Ice Beam was enough to deal with that overgrown lizard, but I was out of potions and revives, and Evice defeated me. I probably could have won if I had more items, but I fought 5 trainers before this, and there's not really a break in between. But I did a rematch with him, and this time I was prepared for his antics, and I put a quick claw on Ampharos, so he'd go first, usually. So I took out Slow King before he could do anything, and then I paralyzed and systematically beat down his whole team until his final ultimate Shadow Pokemon came out, T-Tar. The crowd watched in shock as I Master Ball that Tyranitar immediately. They probably thought I was the villain. As if to confuse the audience even more, Evice was arrested and all was well. At this point, I've cleared the game, and I head to Agate Forest, use the 2 time flutes I have to call on Celebi to purify Metagross and Tyranitar, notably to add Metagross to my team. Okay, you two, just stay still, and don't move. Come out, you little onion. Ha! At this point, I had 44 out of the 8 Shadow Pokemon, and there was plenty of endgame content to get through for those last 4. At one point, for the last 2, I had to battle through 20 trainers in the Underground Coliseum, 4 of which of those trainers were souped up Cypher admins that don't know when to give up. At the very end, I faced Agnol and his level 70 Kingdra, the highest in the game. I beat it with my normal paralyzation strategy, but the Shadow Pokemon he housed was the most legendary of all. It was none other than Shuckle. 20 trainers, all for a Shuckle. Ugh. After this, I had to battle a guy who was impersonating me, who had a Shadow Togetic, which was hard to catch because it was only level 20 and literally anyone on my team could one-shot it. But regardless, I caught it, and now I had all 48 Shadow Pokemon. I went to Agate Village, filled up my party with them, and started running back and forth until they stopped being evil, and I could purify them. This took a few hours. But I saved my game, and I have done it. And I'm tired. If you're looking for a quirky, grittier, and more difficult Pokemon game, you should totally play this. It was honestly a blast to play, and I left out a lot of entertaining little details. I just don't recommend playing it in a foreign language unless you're crazy like me. What's that, Pancake? There's more. So you can't use the English copy of Pokemon Emerald. So you guessed it. Excuse me, Pancake. You gotta use the Japanese copy of it. And you have to beat it. Oh, why am I doing this to myself? I should note that you could transfer to other Japanese copies of the other Gen 3 titles. It's just Emerald's the easiest. And as someone who's played this game countless times, I'm just going to give a crash course on how to clear Pokemon Emerald as quickly as possible for the casual player. So, step 1, get a Mudkip and sweep. None of the gym leaders are grass type, and Mudkip later becomes immune to electric, so Swampert can easily just steamroll the first 7 gyms on its own. Trico may be my fave, but he is not the most strategic choice for beating this as fast as possible. Step 2, Master Ball the level 70 Rayquaza. This is the only Pokemon game where before you tackle the Elite Four and Champion, you can capture a truly over-leveled and overpowered legendary Pokemon. Step 3, teach Rayquaza Thunderbolt and Ice Beam. This will just give him a more varied move pool so he can one-shot 90% of the Elite Four. And the final step, steamroll the rest of the game with Rayquaza. So then congratulations, hopefully you cleared Pokemon Emerald in 5 hours like I did. Anyway, with that, after nearly 45 hours between 2 games, I booted up that disc, and gazing at me with all that eyeliner, Celebi deems me worthy. I transferred it over to my Japanese Emerald, then traded it to my English copy. Its name is... and it won't let me change it. Can you imagine shiny hunting this thing? You have to beat Emerald every time you transfer one, and you only get 48 Celebes per Coliseum save file. After all the calculations, unless you're a professional speedrunner, that's nearly 6 hours per Celebi. That means on average, it would take like 50,000 hours if you somehow had the superpower to never sleep. It would take like 5+ years of nonstop shiny hunting to get the thing. Luckily for us, this Celebi is shiny locked, so it's impossible to get one without hacking. And Game Freak probably did this to save some crazy guy from wasting away a decade of their life to get a 2D pink onion. Despite how long this took, I'm happy that I fulfilled a childhood dream of mine as well as experienced this absolute gem of a game. Thank you everyone for watching this crazy person reminisce and vent about a process no one asked me for. I'll see you all later in another video, everyone.